Alright, so this video is a Suncast 134 gallon extra large deck box. Got this at Lowe's today. Need a place to put some cushions for the outdoors. So I'm going to put this together, see if it's difficult to put together, and just give you a little quick review on what I think of it. I think this was $169. It was one little bit smaller than this. It was $149, but for $20 more, this one was bigger. I figured I'd go ahead and get it. I'm not going to make you watch me unbox. I'm just going to unbox it, lay the parts out on the ground, then I'll show you how to assemble it. So I've got my parts laid out here. That's A, B, C, D, E, F. I'm guessing a support rail probably for the lid. We've got two hinges for the top. We've got two shock absorbers. These are plastic. They're not super good, but a couple $100. We'll see how long they last. Has a little pack of screws, a little pack of longer screws with nuts on it. The nuts are 7/16. You'll need a Phillips head screwdriver, and I went ahead and grabbed my impact. If you watch my other videos, I'm not much of a hand screwdriver kind of person. If you're going to use an impact, you are screwing into plastic. Remember that. If you pull the trigger hard, you're going to blow it right through the other side. You're going to strip it out. So just be careful not to strip your screws out. So here's the instructions. Basically, the panels just kind of drop into each other. There's little tabs on there, so they slide and lock together. If you look on here, it shows you going from A and B on the bottom and the back. E is on the side. It doesn't show you putting D in. D is already in by the time they get to part C. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in. I'm going to take some silicone, and I'm going to run a bead of silicone along the bottom of these because my box is going to be outside. It's going to be sitting right out here, and it's probably going to get rained on, and I don't want to get water up in it. So just to make sure it's sealed, I'm going to get a bead of silicone and just run a bead of silicone along the bottom base of it to help seal it up. Okay, again, the silicone is entirely up to you if you want to do the silicone. I can keep the doggies out of the way. I'm just going to run a bead on top of my pieces here. So I've got that. I just ran a small bead down it. This is the front. And again, this piece goes in and it slides over. So once you line up the tabs, slide it to lock it. Like so. We'll get the two sides. Doing this by yourself, make sure that doesn't fall over or blow over when you don't want to bend your tabs. So I'm just going to run a bead. Again, this is completely optional for you. It can't hurt. If anything else, it may actually help hold it together a little bit better too. And this tab has some interlocks. I'm just going to lock in here and then slide it down. And I'll probably seal the inside of it too once I'm done. So I'll probably run a bead of silicone through here because I can still see air through there. Small bead on this side. And again, the small tabs fit in these grooves. Groove. Should slide down and in. And these pieces are sitting in the sun, so they're kind of warm, so they have to work a little bit. Now it's going to be tight going in. A little tab right there is what's catching me. It took a little encouraging, but I got it. And of course my back, same thing, one more bead of silicone. Just use it clear. And get gray or brown or whatever color your case is, you're welcome to. For cosmetics, just going for functionality here. Same thing with the back. There are grooves in here. Don't get the camera too much. The screws are lined up. They're lined up. We'll tap. So there's all of our pieces put together as far as the bottom goes. Again, they lock together fairly well. There are some gaps. Like I said, you can see some light coming through, so I will seal them up a little bit better with some silicone. Depending on what you're putting in there, if you're just putting pool tools or something, probably wouldn't matter, but since I'm actually going to try to make this waterproof. Alright, hot buddy. Toasty out. Alright, so the next step, we want to take the LASP or the Hasp clip, snap that in place. It shows running a screw into there. Normally these things have pre-drilled holes. This has no pre-drilled hole, but make sure that pops in all the way like that one did. I'm going to take one screw, put it in behind it just to keep it from walking out. And if you're using an impact, don't over drill it, just until it touches. The next part is this metal piece. You'll see there's some screw tabs here. There's like a little lip here. We want to put the little lip over top of the plastic, like so, and it just drops in place. And same thing, it's shooting some screws in from behind. Now since I'm warm and I'm warped, if you see it's moving a little bit, I'm going to make sure I put pressure down to keep this lid nice and straight while I'm putting these screws in. See if I can get a little bit further back. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see them all or not, but you'll get the idea when you're going to put this together. Again, none of those feel like they really grab and pull tight, but the majority of them all together seem to give us some stability. Next step will be hooking the hinge to the shows it only bolting in for now. I don't see anything hooked to this end, so we're going to bolt that into the larger hole in here. I'll try to get the same exact one. Going the right way, going the right way. So it looks like it goes through this larger hole right here. So I'm going to take my short end of my... the spring looks like it goes both ways, so it doesn't matter which way it goes. There's not a front and a back side. I was just checking to make sure there's no groove. So I'm going to put that behind here. Again, a little confusing. On the bolt through onto a nut, so that nut will only go so far, so it allows it to slide back and forth, and then from there into the hinge. Then we're going to use the nut with the lock washer on it. Put that on. There's my wrench and my screwdriver. Sorry if I'm out of steam there. This will not be my finest work of art, I can tell you that. All right. Up here. Not yet. So I've got my hinges together, and if you end up with two of the hinges that look the same, this arm flips around from side to side. So when you go to put this in, if it's turned this way and you take it out of the box, it doesn't fit in there good. If you just spin it around 180 degrees, it'll fit in there like that. So my 5 screws are going to go 1, 2, 3, and then 2 in the front. And we'll do the same thing on the other side, which I've already done, but I'm going to do this side now. sure that's slid all the way to the back. Don't over tighten. Okay, so that's my two arms in place. Okay, I just set that up on top there. I'm gonna try to raise this up. And I'm trying to do this by myself. If you had someone to hold it, it would go a lot easier. So I'm gonna try to do this without making too big of a mess. The bolt and hinge are right here. So the hole, of course, is right where my paper is covering up. Should have pulled that off first. It's right there. That will go through the hole in the outside of the plastic. Let's just gonna take a nut and start this. So get it started. Do that. Okay, and then tighten it up with my nut. I'm going to grab my nut driver. My nut driver. Here's my wrench. Tighten this up the rest of the way. So after I got my hinge in place, I got my other nut on. I'm going to put my last screw in the front. And then that should be it. Yeah, two people doing this. Again, one of you would just hold that while the other one did both, but me, I've got to kind of go back and forth just to keep her from wobbling or falling apart on me. So after the screws are in, hydraulics go down, my hasp's off a little bit. Again, I'm sitting in full sun right now. If you were doing this in a shade, it may be a little different. I think once it sits for a minute or two, or a day or two, it'll probably just settle into place where it goes, but hydraulics seems to work good. Opens and closes fine. The only thing, again, I'm going to do is go on the inside and I'm going to caulk around the inside edges around my bottom and stuff. Again, that's optional. If you're sitting under a covered area on a porch or something, you won't need to do that at all. Since I'm going to be out in the elements here, I don't have anything besides a little piece of eave that's going to cover it. So I'm going to set it right by the hot tub there. It's going to get rained on and everything else. So I'm going to seal mine up the best I can to keep water out of it. Hope that helped you out. Hope that made you an informative decision. And once I get it set up, once the silicone's dry and start shoving everything in it, I'll do a follow-up video in about a month or two just to let you know if it's still in one piece or not. And again, this is full sun all day long, so it's not going to get much more brutal than what I'm going to put it through.